things. Number one, your health matters. So whoever you are, if you have not been struck by illness or injury, know that it will come. Nobody gets out unscathed. So you should prepare your body to do battle today. Because if you are fit going into any sort of crisis, you will be far more likely to recover and rebound efficiently and effectively. So prioritize health now. Don't wait. But then know your mental game is vital. It is a very big deal. And so for me, I had a few things that really made my life better during and after treatment. Number one is perspective. Perspective is from day one that I was born, I've been a perspective girl. And I used to say, it's not cancer. So if I got in a car accident, it's not cancer. If I spilled wine on the carpet, it's not cancer. And then all of a sudden it was. And so was that my opportunity to have a big pity party and freak out? I definitely cried. I'm not a robot. I was human. I was stressed beyond belief. But what I thought about right away is the pediatric oncology unit here in my hometown of Gainesville, Florida. There's a little kids cancer center. And I thought, thank goodness I'm not a kid with cancer. Can you imagine being 4 with cancer? And God forbid it was my own kid with cancer. And so from that point on, I would say, well, I'm not a kid with cancer. It's not my kid with cancer. I'm so lucky to be a grown up with cancer. So I did cry. I probably cried every single day. It was hard. I would go in my bathroom and I would just get the boo-hoos out and then I would get on with it. I would just carry on and my days would be better for that. So perspective is number one. Someone always has it worse, and if you focus on that, you'll see your situation is not as grim as it feels. Number two, I chose to have fun and be happy when I could. And so some people have more of a serious personality where they like to be dramatic or whatever. I don't. I'm a joy addict. Give me the opportunity, even if I'm in the middle of chemo or I'm in the middle of throwing up, and if something funny happens, I'm going to laugh. I don't need to bask in misery. And I think that's a real risk factor for health in general. Basking in misery is never a good idea. It's okay to be sad. It's okay to be stressed. Find a way to get it out, get through it, have the conversation, and then go exercise or go play guitar or do the thing that, sets you back to even. So that positivity really does help. And then I chose to pursue my passions. And, many times people get diagnosed, their family says, oh my gosh, you've got cancer, hide out, wear a mask, duck under the covers. Okay, well, isolation is not a good thing for anybody. Isolation is what we do to our worst prisoners, right? You kill someone, you get isolated. You get cancer, you should not be isolated. You should be surrounded by love and things that make you happy and things that make you feel like life is worth living. And so for me, they were my kids. I decided before I even had one treatment that no matter what happened to me, if my kids had a sport, a ceremony, a show, I was going to be there. And I was. Even in the worst of times, I showed up and they made me a little bit happier, right? It's great to be with your kids, watching them succeed. And then the other thing I decided is I was not going to let cancer steal my career. It was going to steal my hair, many of my good feelings, and that happened, but it did not steal this thing that I worked so hard for decades, right? I have earned my rightful spot on those stages, and I wasn't going to let cancer steal that. So I boarded over 30 planes out of Gainesville, Florida to Los Angeles and New York and all sorts of different states around the country. And I made it happen. And flying while violently ill is not cool. It's not a great time, but the destination was always worth it. And so I'd arrive at my destination. Quite often I'd get IV fluids that my race director had arranged for me. I would sleep on the hotel bathroom floors because apparently that's where you sleep to stop the world from spinning. And then I'd wake up and at 5 a.m. I'd drag my body over to the start line. And that's where the miracles happened. That was where all of the magic showed up for me as I went from this violently ill, sick, tired, stressed person to full force Fitz Koehler. I stepped on those stages and I was surrounded by thousands of incredible people serving these extraordinary events, and everything worked. I wasn't tired. I wasn't suffering. I wasn't sick. I was laser focused on them. I was fueled with adrenaline, and I got to be me. And if I had taken the advice of those who love me and I'd stayed home, if the Big Sur Marathon was taking place and I was at home, all I would do was cry. All I would do is grieve. And sadness is not helpful to anybody. And so I pursued those passions, and They truly benefited me. They gave me days where I felt like a normal, wonderful person again. And if I had not pursued those passions, all I would have been was sick. And so, whoever you are, whatever's going on in your life, if your house burns down, okay, get your family, be lucky you got your family out, go walk around the block and cry over your house. And then, I don't know, go to the park and play soccer because you love soccer or football so much, right? Right? Do something that makes you better, that fuels your spirit. And if you're stuck in the hospital, which many of us are, all right, you can't play football, watch a match on TV or read a book about football or paint a picture. I mean, there's stuff that you can do and you should do, or you just end up being sick. And that's not so